Radio host Jennifer Horn and political commentator Latrice Littleton. Thank you both for coming on here. I don't know, Latrice, you see there, CNN, you knew that somehow it's not really going to go well for them. It's not going to, they're going, oh, the president was fantastic. They're just not going to say it, but there you have it.
Yeah, tonight's speech, I feel like he did a really great job at being measured with his critique of the press.
Right.
He was very brutal with his political opponents, but I do think he was pretty measured, more than I expected. But overall, we can't expect more than that from the President Trump. You never know what you're going to get from him, and yeah, I think he did an incredible job at just balancing out the humor.
I thought he took it easy on the press, Jennifer. I don't know what you thought, but he did. He went hard on the politicians, like Latrice was saying, and Katie kind of agreed. And I looked at it, I'm like, listen, he went really easy on the press. Took a couple of small stabs, but then really complimented him at the end, saying, listen, I respect your work and I do all that kind of stuff. It's the president. It's what he does.
And he also gives his phone number to everybody. And he talked about that, Trace. He is the most transparent president that we have ever had. He talks to the press, especially in juxtaposition to how Joe Biden allowed maybe 3 questions a week if you were lucky.
Yeah.
This is a president who yesterday was with the Dodgers, who was talking about nuclear power and commenting on LeBron James today. This is a guy who stood in front of the White House Correspondents Dinner after being shot at once again, and I think killed it. The losers of the night, I thought, were the room. The room was kind of a bunch of duds.
Yeah, there was no, and you see some of the journalists I was saying, oh, they're shaking their head like, oh, he's being so mean. Come on, have a little fun, people. CNN News Central on the stabbing in New York City. Listen closely how this is framed, because that's the important part.
All right, in New York, police are investigating whether 2 stabbings are hate crimes. Officials say a 51-year-old man stabbed an Asian man and a Jewish man multiple times. Police say the attacks happened yesterday afternoon and were completely unprovoked. They say mental health may have been a factor in all this, but a scary situation there. John?
Latrice, when I hear, oh, mental health may have been a factor, you think, hold on, this person allegedly screamed Allahu Akbar, and he went after a Jewish person who was coming out of a synagogue, and you think mental? This was a specifically targeted attack. And if you're going to couch it as, oh, it might be mental illness here, it's not fair. It's not fair to the victims.
Absolutely. After the mayor's rhetoric, where he's behaving as an activist as opposed to being a mayor, and then now you see this uptick in violence in New York City and conflict, and just omitting the most important part of that piece, which is the phrase that the suspect yelled out prior to these stabbings. It's not doing the New York City residents any justice, and it's not giving them the opportunity to know exactly what's happening on the ground. It's putting them in danger.
Yeah, it really is, Jennifer. I look at these kinds of things, and we study this all the time. It's the framing. It's not what the media tells you. It's what they don't tell you, and what they kind of leave out of their things is they're trying to control the narrative. And this is a way to try to control the narrative to make sure everybody is, not jumping to conclusions here.
Yeah, well, I think this just adds to the people out there who think that the media is in cahoots with the Democrat Party. Look, journalism school was a little while ago for me, Trace, but I do remember the first day, and you're absolutely right. It's not about what they tell you or about the opinions that they spew. It's what information they present to you that leads to media bias. And I think, by and large, they've got a real problem with the Democrat socialists. Mamdani is their spokesperson. He's calling for chaos in New York City, and I think you can see the media is complicit in helping him along.
Yeah, I skipped journalism. I went to business school. I said, I'm going
like to brag about it, Trace.
Yeah. The Graham Platner campaign strategist admits that red flags should have been recognized sooner. Watch.
I think there are things here, many of the critiques that have been made that are incredibly valid and things to learn from. In hindsight, knowing what we know now, the Reddit posts alone probably should have been enough. Or should have been enough. The tattoo should have been enough. The initial New York Times story on troubling behavior should have been enough.
Troubling behavior? The physical abuse allegations that these women came, troubling behavior? That should have been enough. What do you think, Latrice?
I think it's really convenient to say this now that Platner is finally out of the race when he had absolutely no other option. Once these more severe allegations came to light and there was no other option, he would not have a political career moving forward. But to see them coming out and saying this information was available from the very beginning. And they just put on display what they were willing to do to maintain a seat.
Because the truth is, when you're a campaign strategist, Jennifer, you need to resurrect your career because you just ran Graham Platner's campaign, and the whole time we're like, he's the best. Oh, he's going to be the next. He's going to beat Susan Collins.
Captain Obvious is this guy, right? I mean, yeah, you think the Nazi tattoo should have done it? I think so. The racism, yeah. Maybe the abuse claims, absolutely. But this is what happens when you get vibes over vetting, right? This guy gave vibes to the Democrat Party. They thought they could win with him. They thought he could bring in men. They were absolutely wrong. And this guy, by the way, is 2 for 2. He's the one that gave us Mom Donnie and Graham Platner.
Yeah, and the amazing thing about this all is, just for the record, so many things came out about Graham Platner that nobody mentions anymore the fact that he was literally mocking wounded soldiers. And you're like, what the record just goes all the way down, and he's saying, oh, well, you got to the Reddit ones, you got crazy. Latrice, Jennifer, thank you both.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.